Section 9, Communications. 9.1 SCADA Master Station Internal Communications. Communications on any LAN shall be fast Ethernet at 100 Mbps using 100 base T cabling and network hubs. 9.2 Networking Communications. The SCADA Front-End Processor FEP servers at MCC, SMC, and LCC shall be connected to dual 100 Mbps Ethernet switches and routers. All network connections to the servers from operator stations, communication servers, and other systems shall be through the Ethernet switch to allow optimum access to each server. All network devices and workstations shall support SNMP client utilities for the purpose of network management. The SCADA network shall be configured using Class C TCP/IP node addresses. The seller shall design, document, and submit the SCADA network node IP addressing scheme and a network plan for approval by the owner at the detailed engineering stage of the project. The network TCP/IP addressing scheme and network plan to be submitted shall include sufficient details to describe total SCADA network IP addressing range, SCADA Master Station to RTU Communication Protocol addressing scheme for the encapsulated protocol, relationships and restrictions between TCP/IP addressing scheme and the SCADA Master Station Protocol addressing scheme, method of IP address allocation and backup allocation strategies, scope of addresses for each domain, site type, site equipment type, and then network as a whole network segmentation and mask ranges, alternative communication routes and networks, routing strategies and method of implementation for each of the alternative network communication routes and backup networks, router configuration routing tables, router and network timeout delay and retry mechanism settings throughout the network, network bridge configuration tables, network node naming convention, list of protocols necessary for each node to support network plan, standard address prefixes shall be used for similar equipment types. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, DHCP, is preferred for IP address allocation. Backup DHCP servers shall be configured at MCC, SMCC, and LCC sites. Access to the SCADA network nodes shall be restricted by the firewall system and router equipment. There shall be a restricted list of SCADA network nodes made available to external network access via the firewall. Addresses within the SCADA network shall not be used for these external network accesses. For external SCADA network equipment traffic, only translated IP addresses shall be revealed by the firewall for use by external SCADA network equipment. 9.3 RTU Communications. Communication to RTUs shall be via TCP/IP network links. The RTU network communications port interfaces shall be fully compatible with the network plan protocols and TCP/IP addressing scheme defined above. RTUs shall have the capacity for a minimum of 3 separate serial communication links available for communications to other field equipment devices. Communications to external systems shall also be possible using serial communication links directly to RTUs. A minimum of 3 external serial links shall be available to be configured on each RTU for external system communication of external field points. 9.4 Firewall and Communications to Other Systems. Connections to systems and devices outside the SCADA system shall be performed through a dedicated firewall device. The firewall shall be configured to protect against access by unauthorized users. The firewall shall be a purpose-made device designed specifically to be a network firewall device. The firewall shall be connected to the pipeline application software/historical database servers and shall be the only network connection point between the outside world and the SCADA system. The firewall shall be designed to protect the SCADA system against intrusion by unauthorized persons external to the SCADA WANs accessing the servers or workstations on the LANs at the MCC, SMCC, and all the LCCs. The firewall shall consist of standalone hardware servers and software and shall restrict access to the SCADA network to a single point of entry via the firewall server and historian server at the MCC. Restrict access to WANs and LANs external to the SCADA LAN to the same point of exit through the server firewall. The system supplied shall have at least the following functionality: be able to be configured as bastion hosts, support proxy server, support packet filtering, support IP address translation, block access to NetBIOS, hide computer names and shared resources, block any program sending outbound unauthorized files or data out to the internet, hide and block all standard TCP/IP ports from inbound probe accesses by external network nodes, support perimeter networks, dual-homed host architectures. The seller shall discuss with the owner ways and make recommendations to configure the firewall server and software to restrict access to the SCADA network. The methods selected shall be implemented by the seller as part of the SCADA contract. All costs for this work shall be included by the seller in his proposal costs. These sections provide a comprehensive overview of the communications requirements for the SCADA system, ensuring secure, efficient, and reliable data transmission across the network and between various system components. Section 10, System Performance. 10.1 Operating Performance. The control system shall perform satisfactorily during periods of different system loading and conditions. 10.2 SCADA Master Station Software. Refer to Appendix B for performance requirements for the SCADA system. 10.3 Definition of Loading Conditions. The system shall continue to operate with all functions available at the specified performance under all conditions of plant and user activity. For acceptance testing, load conditions are defined as new display pages requested per minute per CRT, 20% of analog points in alarm, all analogs changing 0.5% of range per second, 20% of digital points change state progressively over 4 seconds. 10.4 Operator Interface to RTU Performance. During all system loading conditions, the operation of an output relay or setpoint output level change at any RTU in response to an LCC control request shall occur within 200 milliseconds of the execute command being activated at the RTU. The LCC shall indicate to the operator within 1 second that the control has been issued to the field device or display the change status of the field device if it has occurred. A status change or significant analog change not due to a control action shall be reported back to the LCC, MCC, and SMCC operators within 1 second of the RTU detecting the change. 10.5 Man-Machine Performance Requirements. The SCADA system shall acknowledge all LCC, MCC, and SMCC operator requests or provide the operator with a visual cue that their request is being processed within 1 second. This includes interactions via cursor and function keys. 10.5.1 MMI Requests. New MMI display requests shall be completely presented on the MMI within 2 seconds of the display request. This requirement applies to each type of display format, schematics, tabulars, summaries, etc. 10.52 MMI Update Rate. Dynamic data values displayed on the MMI shall be updated within 2 seconds of the detection of a change in the data value by the operator workstation under maximum load conditions. The remote workstation shall be updated every 2 seconds. 10.53 System Alarming. Alarm conditions and equipment failures detected by the LCC, MCC, and SMCC shall be processed and presented in chronological order on the appropriate MMI display within 1 second. The SCADA system shall be capable of meeting these requirements when alarms are being received at a rate of 20 per minute. 10.6 Availability in MTBF. Tenderers shall provide calculations showing that the proposed system configuration meets the specified availability in this section. Tenderers shall supply the individual mean time between failures, MTBF, for all equipment supplied under this contract. The system shall be engineered to ensure that no single failure in the system causes risk to personnel or plant, or causes the plant to trip. The system shall demonstrate an availability equal to or exceeding 99.9%. The system shall be considered unavailable if any of the following apply. More than one operator station is unavailable. More than one input-output card is unavailable. More than one intelligent module, controller loop interface communications, etc., is unavailable, duplicated or otherwise. The time taken to rectify a minor fault exceeds 8 hours. Minor faults can include one operator station being unavailable, one plant input status card being unavailable, one intelligent module being unavailable. The system availability shall be tested over the performance test period indicated in Appendix B. These sections provide a comprehensive overview of the performance requirements for the SCADA system, ensuring reliable, efficient, and responsive operation under various conditions and loads. Section 11. Contract Procedures and Control. 11.1 General. The contract will require specific procedures to be adopted by the seller. These procedures are mandatory and must be rigorously followed. 11.2 Program of Work. Within 10 working days of notice of acceptance of the tender, the seller shall submit the following to the owner for approval: a detailed contract program showing milestones, contact person for inquiries, address for sending information, the project quality plan. The contract program should include design phase, preparation and submission of drawings, placing orders for materials, manufacture, testing at works, delivery to site, erection, testing at site, and commissioning. The program should be modified as required by the owner and followed accordingly. Seller is responsible for planning and coordinating subsellers' work to ensure timely completion. 11.3 Progress Monitoring. The contract program activities document should include tasks and produce written documents highlighting progress. The seller shall provide a final list of deliverables appropriate for the equipment and programming methods. All deliverables shall be submitted to the owner for approval. 11.4 Contract Progress Reports. Detailed progress reports are to be submitted monthly. The reports should indicate the status of each activity listed in the contract program. Reports should be in a format approved by the owner. 11.5 Subsellers. The seller must obtain the owner's approval before entering into subcontracts. All subcontracts should be placed as soon as practicable. 3 unpriced copies of the seller's suborders must be supplied to the owner. Additional copies may be required by the owner's inspectors. Section 12. Inspection and Testing. 12.1 General. All equipment and components are subject to inspection and testing during and after manufacture and on site. Full details of all type tests and standards must be included in the tenderer's response. 12.2 Inspection during manufacture. The owner reserves the right to inspect any part of the works during or after manufacture. No item should be dispatched without a release issued by the owner. Inspection approval does not waive the right to reject non-compliant plant later. 12.3 Factory Acceptance Testing, FAT. Seller must prepare a detailed test schedule and submit it for approval 30 days prior to testing. Tests include verifying inventory, testing SCADA functions, handling error conditions, and performance tests. A 72-hour continuous run test is required to determine system weaknesses. 12.4 has Factory Acceptance Testing. 12.4.1 Pass Standalone Tests, testing individual pass components. 12.4.2 Pass Performance Test, evaluating overall performance and integration. 12.5 Commissioning. 12.1 Site Acceptance Test, comprehensive testing at the installation site. 12.52 Pass Site Commissioning Activities, ensuring pass integration and functionality. 12.53 Pass Support and Commissioning, ongoing support and adjustment during commissioning. 12.6 Retesting and Repairs. Any retests and repairs due to non-compliance with specifications are at the seller's cost. If work is compliant, the owner bears the retesting costs. Section 13. Deliveries and Paraset 13.1.1 Shipping breaks. Seller must provide information on shipping breaks and protection measures at the project kickoff meeting. Identify worst-case conditions for packaged equipment and ensure protection during transport. Section 14. Installation. Seller is responsible for transportation, lifting, unloading, shifting, and installation of SCADA equipment. Startup of all supplied equipment is part of the SCADA system contract. All equipment except monitors, printers, and keyboards should be installed in cabinets. Section 15. Training requirements. 15.1 General. Provide a comprehensive training program for engineering, maintenance, and operations staff. Training should be specific to the SCADA system installation. 15.2 Operations Training. Training for pipeline operators at Jamnagar MCC. 15.3 Maintenance Training. Training for 2 engineers or technicians at Jamnagar MCC. 15.4 Programming and Configuration. Training for system programming and configuration for 2 engineers. 15.5 PS Simulation System Training. 15.51 Overview. The Training Simulation System, TSS, provides a training environment to develop operator skills. 15.52 Basic Functionality. TSS should interface with the SCADA system, providing realistic simulation and control scenarios. 15.5.3 PASS training. Training for using PASS, including leak detection principles and system operation. Section 16, documentation. 16.1, language and units. All documents must be in English and use SI units. Hack 16.2, drawing and information schedule. Seller must supply a schedule of drawings and information, including preparation and submission timelines. 16.3, approval of drawings. Drawings will be reviewed by the owner for compliance with specifications. 16.4, document submittal procedure. Documents submitted for review must use an approved document transmittal form. 16.5, document media. All documents should be clear, legible, and reproducible on A4 white paper. 16.6, arrangement. Arrangement drawings should include all necessary information for design and detail works. 16.7, working drawings. Working drawings should include sufficient information for installation, operation, and maintenance. 16.8, flowcharts and logic diagrams. Logic diagrams should cover all system and RTU functions, referencing specific equipment. 16.81, batch tracking module illustrates procedural control language for batch switching, monitoring density, and switching actions. 16.8.2, delivery tank manifold logic. Details for tank inlet and outlet valve sequences and control logic. 16.8.3, mainline pump, VSD. Logic diagrams for mainline pump operation and sequence control. 16.8.4, inlet manifold alignment and valve changeover sequences. 16.85, meter run switching. Logic for changing over meter runs by controlling MOVs. 16.8.6, MOV control. Standard MOV control block logic with inputs and interlock logic. 16.7, pressure flow control. Simple PID loop for pressure and flow control, documenting all configuration data and fault conditions. TASHL 16.8.8, logic diagram index. Index in electronic and hard copy form for all logic diagrams and equipment references. 16.9, equipment configuration settings, documenting all communication and SCADA equipment settings for each commissioned item. 16.10, ownership of drawings. Drawings and transparencies become the owner's property for use in ordering spare parts or any required purpose. TASHDAR 16.11, operating and maintenance manuals, comprehensive manuals for all equipment provided, detailing operating procedures, maintenance, and system testing. 16.11.1, PS documentation, includes project definition manual, leak sensitivity study report, acceptance test specification, and other essential documents. 16.12, configuration manuals, detailed descriptions for configuring, modifying, and testing the system. TASHL 16.12.1, preliminary manuals and working drawings, provided at least 45 days before equipment dispatch for owner review. 16.13, final manuals, updated manuals reflecting changes during installation and commissioning, provided before taking over the works. Section 17, maintenance contract option. Owner may consider a maintenance contract covering hardware, software, modems, communications, display updates, database changes, and RTU configuration for 3 years. Seller should include cost structure and response times in the tender. These sections outline the procedures, responsibilities, and documentation requirements for the contract, ensuring thorough oversight, proper installation, and comprehensive training and support for the SCADA system.